What's up guys, Stark here. In today's character spotlight, I'm taking a look at the Bride Nero servant. Now this was a servant available for Valentine's Day. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get this video out on time, but I am going back and covering the character now in case she does come back. I'm sure she'll be back in the banners in the future. So yeah, we're just going to jump right into it. Her pictures are on the screen for you guys to see, and she does have some pretty cool artwork. I do prefer the other Nero's artworks, but this one isn't too bad, honestly. Moving on here to her stats, she is going to be a 5-star saber, so she will go up to level 90, and at level 90 she will have 11,607 attack and 14,248 HP. Now this will rank her 10th overall in both HP and attack stats. So overall, she's got some really good stats, top tier, top 10 for now at least. She will drop out very soon. But for now, she is top 10, and if you do decide to max her out completely, she will end up with 14,706 attack and 17,609 HP. So overall, like I said, she has some really good stats, and she's a very good servant as well. She has quite a good, a kit of skills, and her Noble Phantasm is pretty good as well. And overall, she just combos very well, and she's definitely really good for, more of like a support role, but she can do a ton of damage as well if used correctly. So moving on here to her servant skills, her first skill is going to be the Stars for the Sky A skill. Now this is a target skill for one ally, and it will increase the Noble Phantasm gain of that ally for 3 turns, starting at 35% at level 1 and goes up to 45% at level 10. So you can pick which ally you want to use this on, and these type of buffs are really nice because you can choose who you want to use them on as opposed to it just being a single target where it only works on the caster. Moving on here to her second skill, it's going to be the Flowers for the Earth A skill. And once again, this is a target buff, and it will increase that ally's attack for 3 turns, and it will also increase their critical star drop rate for 3 turns as well. So the attack buff here starts at 30% and it goes up to 40% at level 10, and then for the critical star drop rate, it'll be 30% at level 1, and then that one goes up to 50% at level 10. So once again, this is a really nice skill. You can choose to use it on an ally, like right before they use their Noble Phantasm, or like they're bursting, or they have like a Brave Chain or something going. You can just pop it on them and do, a bit of extra damage. Or you can just use it on Nero herself, to increase her damage a little bit more, especially if you're going against like a Lancer or something. Moving on here to her third and final skill, it's going to be the Love for the People A skill. Now once again, this is a target buff, and it will restore HP and increase defense for 3 turns. So at level 1 it will heal for 1000 HP, and at level 10 it will heal for 3000 HP, and it will increase defense by 10% at level 1 and then 20% at level 10. So overall, it's not like the best heal buff, but it is pretty good. It does give you some HP and some defense increase. And once again, you can choose who you use it on. So if one of your allies got hit pretty hard on the turn, you can go ahead and use this to give them a little bit of HP back and increase their defense to maybe make sure that they survive into the next wave. Overall though, it's a really good kit of skills, and it's definitely very versatile, very good for support. All of the skills are like very optional. You can choose when you need to use them, and it's just overall really nice. Especially, you can use them and combo them with herself as well, and it makes it really easy to get in her Noble Phantasm, especially if you're using her first skill. You could just go ahead and use that and then do like an arts chain, and you're gonna like pretty much fill up her Noble Phantasm gauge right away, which is really nice because she has got a pretty good Noble Phantasm. Anyway, moving on here to her class skills. The first one's going to be the Magic Resistance C skill, which will increase debuff resistance by 15%. Second one is going to be Writing B, which will increase quick card effectiveness by 8%. Moving on here to her Ascension and her skill enhancement materials. For the Ascension, she's going to need some crystals, some lanterns, feathers, and seeds. And then for her skill enhancement, she's going to need lanterns, crystals, the serpent eyes, and gears. So she only needs all silvers, which is pretty rare. But yeah, it's a pretty good, set of items you need. Moving on here to her command cards and her Noble Phantasm. She has 1 quick, 2 arts, and 2 buster. You do primarily want to use her on arts teams because she's so good at getting her Noble Phantasm generated fast and, doing arts and stuff. It's just probably the best option in my opinion to use her on an arts team. So her Noble Phantasm is also an arts card, and it will deal significant damage to a single enemy And then on the overcharge, it will inflict burn for 5 turns, decrease defense for 5 turns, and decrease critical hit rate for 5 turns for that single enemy. So this is a really nice Noble Phantasm. Unfortunately, most of its effects are on the overcharge. Now that's not really too hard to pull off, just put another Noble Phantasm in front of it, but still, you know, it kind of sucks that pretty much all of her effects are often overcharged though. You can go ahead and power up her Noble Phantasm with an interlude quest, and this will just increase the damage for the base damage, and then it will also inflict more burn damage. But you know, the decreased defense and the decrease for critical hit will stay the same. Now this is a pretty good skill because overall for the decrease in defense, it lasts 5 turns, as well as the burn and the decrease for critical hit rate. And this is important because you could probably, if you're using her in an arts team, stack these skills. So you could probably get her Noble Phantasm off before the 5 turns wear off. So you can just keep recycling those effects and stack them up. And you know, that makes the fights a lot easier when you're having constant burn damage and defense decrease. And you could also go ahead and use it on multiple enemies at the same time. Now I know it's not an AoE skill, but if you're recycling it that fast, you could probably get more than one of them hit at the same time and just have, you know, like 2 enemies with the status effects if you decide to do it that way. Like, because there's going to be some teams that you could just like constantly spam Noble Phantasms and you can get this just going all the time. So using her with someone like Waver and Tamamo Caster, just have like a pure like arts team where you could just keep recycling Noble Phantasm gain and keep spamming the Noble Phantasm. You could probably get this Noble Phantasm off quite often. And she has a really good return rate, so it's pretty good, honestly. I'm actually going to go ahead and try that team out and see if it works as well as it does in my head. Anyway, moving on here to some of her craft essences that you could use. At level 10 Bond, you're going to unlock the Laurel Rings, and this will increase arts card effectiveness of all allies by 15% on the field. You know, until you get that though, you can go ahead and use the projection for the 15% increase or formal craft for the 25% increase to arts cards. So that's going to wrap up this character spotlight. I will leave you guys here with Nero's Noble Phantasm, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Oh, quick note guys, if anyone who's watching this has a Arjuna, I think I said that right. If anyone has him, please, you know, throw your IDs in the comments below. I originally wanted to do his spotlight today because I did Karna's yesterday, and you know, I think those two are connected, so I definitely wanted to do that, but I couldn't find him, and the Japanese version was down for maintenance, so I couldn't go on and get him. But yeah, if you guys have him, you know, drop your IDs in the comments below, and hopefully I can do his spotlight soon. So yeah, thanks guys, and I will see you guys tomorrow.
春の日差し、花の乱舞、さつきの風は頬をなで、祝福はステラの彼方まで。開け、ルプティア・エドムズ・アウレアよ。